Good evening and welcome to another No Tanks live stream, NTX live stream. As you'll see this week I remembered to put my light on beforehand, so all good. So we are on the 17th of May, which in the UK means we have taken one step further out of lockdown, which means our pool sessions are opening back up. The first one to be running officially will be this Thursday at New Malden in Kingston. So if you fancy coming down to that or any of the other sessions, you can get by or book your spot through Eventbrite. Obviously, members' tickets are free, but we just still need to know who people are and who's booked in. So. All good. There's something else. Membership. So membership went out today. So we've got membership running from now through to March next year. So that's only 10 months. If you fancy joining No Tanks, you can just join. And if you want to pay for pool fees, then you can come to up to 4 pool sessions a week. So that's cool. Let us know if you have any questions about that. This week I wanted to go through some questions. So we've had a few questions online and I wanted to kind of go through some of those questions with you guys. It's been a while since I've done some of the Q&A, so excuse me while I just get up the another window so I can see the questions that people have asked. Okay, so the first question we've had is, and I know this is going to make it onto as soon as I saw it, I went, this is going to make it onto the title of this video. Should I wee in my wetsuit? And the answer is definitely, absolutely no, you should not pee in your wetsuit. And I can tell you why. There's several reasons why. So, the first reason is it's bad for your wetsuit. Now, we're talking about freediving here. So freediving session, typically 2 hours max, typically. If you're a spear fisherman and you're going out for 6 hours, then you're in a different realm. And if you need to pee, you need to pee. Right? But this is why spearfishing suits have add-ons that allow you to wee without weeing any wetsuit. Okay, so let's go back to freediving. The suits don't like wee, so they're gonna be kind of deteriorating, and it breeds bacteria. So if you have weed in your wetsuit, or somebody's borrowed your wetsuit and weed in your wetsuit, somebody else has weed in your wetsuit, oh man, that's just a whole world of wrongness. You need to massage as soon as you can, a little bit of water, and massage in a mild detergent. Some people use, there's special products you can buy out there and you soak your suits. I'm not a big fan of that. Just a mild detergent, a soft shampoo, a simple cheap shampoo, and you massage it in, and you see the it's called open cell on the inside because it means the bubbles of air, the cells of air that make the wetsuit soft and rubbery and whatever, they're little cells of bubbles of air, and they're open cell because on the inside they're open like this, and grime and stuff gets stuck in the open cells. So you need to massage in shampoo to break up the dirt, get the dirt out, but equally well as a detergent it will kill any bacteria that's growing in there because you've weed in your wetsuit. So you've got to do that, especially under the armpits, in the body. If any water's going to go in, it's going to go in and go through, but the armpits and the crutch, these are places where the kind of you really need to clean it, and you need to clean it. I mean, some people clean them every dive, but it depends how much you dive. So I mean, I was in the lake 4 times last week, so I washed it once at the end of the week. Bearing in mind, you know, I'm diving every day, and it takes a good 15 minutes to, you know, to give your suit a wash. Okay, I digress. That's how to wash your suit. Why shouldn't you pee in your suit? The second reason you shouldn't pee in your suit is because immersion diuresis is why you want to pee in your wetsuit. When you stand up, water pools in the lower parts of your body. Okay, blood, lymph. When I say water, I don't mean literally, you know, your legs are full of water, but lymph, which is predominantly water, blood, which is predominantly water, liquids. Let's say liquids pool slightly in your legs and your feet, and your body gets used to this. As soon as you go in water and start floating around in water, the liquids that are pooled in your legs come up into the rest of the body, and the body feels like it's got too much liquid on board, okay, because it's not used to that amount of liquid. You've got the same amount of liquid as normal because it's floated into the torso. The body goes, too much liquid, and it tries to get rid of liquid. So immersion diuresis means you need to wee when you float around in water. Okay, but you can overcome this. You can teach yourself not to. So if you go for a dive and you're in the water, especially this time of year, you know, you started the season in April and it's a little bit cold, you're not going to be in for 2 hours. You hold your wee for an hour. Teach your body that's not what you want it to do, and very quickly your body gets used to it, and you can dive for 2 hours. You don't even think about weeing until you get out. Okay? So that's how you stop it. Okay, but why would you not want to do it? Why not wee in your wetsuit? You can't want nice and warm. Well, you do get nice and warm for a few moments, and then you get cold, because most wetsuits, decent wetsuits, let's say decent wetsuits, are actually pretty watertight. Okay, not much water gets in. If you wee in your wetsuit, then you're going to put more water in than you had before, and that water's going to get cold, and you're going to get cold. Okay, so it breaks the seals. So if water's coming out of the leg around the ankle, then you know the seal's broken and water's going to start. You're going to get more flush. So you are going to get colder if you wee in your wetsuit. Okay? Apart from the fact that you don't want water sloshing around in your suit. That's why you've spent decent money on a freediving suit, because you want a nice fitting, a nice open cell so it sticks to you, so no water gets in. You don't want to just go around putting water into it. It's not a good deal. So you don't want to wee in your wetsuit. There you go. That's what you want. Okay, so that was the first question. Okay, so I had a question when using the straw, the bombilla. I felt like I was engaging my chest and my neck more than the Okay, so we're going back to the bombilla, which is a circular breathing training exercise, essentially. And this is, the whole point of this is us to learn how to use the soft palate. Okay, how to create pressure using just our cheeks, and how to lock off the soft palate, open the soft palate. So the idea is when you circular breathe, you're breathing out using your cheeks, and you can breathe in through your nose into your lungs at the same time. So if you listen, you can hear me snort, or sniff rather, and blow out at the same time. So that's blowing out, and this time I'm going to breathe in through the nose at the same time. And yes, my eyebrows do that every time I do it. It's just what I do. I can't stop it. Okay, so that's what the bombilla or the straw is. You're using it for circular breathing. It's controlling of the soft palate and your ability to squeeze and create pressure using your lips, your tongue, and your jaw. Okay. This person said, when using the straw, it feels like I'm engaging my chest and my neck. Okay. Which we know we don't want to be engaging the chest when breathing. Okay, so you've always got to think about what the purpose of the exercise is. So when you're breathing, why do we not want to engage the chest? Why do we concentrate on belly breathing? Well, this is efficiency. We can fill our lungs 80% using our diaphragm very efficiently. Right? And using our chest and getting a big breath at the end of the breath using the chest is quite stressful, okay, and not really worth it for the benefits of having just a little bit more air. So we tend not to use the chest. Equally well, most people who've never freedived or played trumpet don't use their diaphragm very well. Okay? So we concentrate on using the diaphragm because we want to develop that skill, partly because some people never use it and partly because it's an efficient way of getting air into the lungs. True. But when we're using bombilla, it's a really technical exercise. We're not going to be using a straw when we go freediving. So engaging your chest to use a bombilla, it's not that bad a thing. Okay? You are concentrating on how to use different parts of the body in different ways. And so engaging chest is not a particularly bad thing because it's not a technique that we're going to be using when we're breathing up for a free dive. Okay? Eventually you will find that you don't engage the chest. Okay? But also they say they engage the chest and neck. Well, you will be engaging the neck. The neck is encasing the soft palate. And so it will be engaged. But again, it's not that bad an issue because we're not going to be using the bombilla technique when we're going freediving. However, when we unpack, we do want to use the soft palate. We need to lock off and lock the soft palate. So we need to, when using the balloon, we pull up, unpack, lock off, and then push out the air into the balloon using the cheeks. So then we have to unlock the soft palate, pull up air using the mouth and the throat. Ooh. You see my jaw, everything's working. Ooh. Yeah, and then I lock it off and then blow it out. So the neck is working, or rather the stuff inside the neck. We don't have to use our neck, actually neck, but the muscles inside. So that's not a bad thing. Okay, so another question. Okay, so somebody's asked, I'm way too busy being nervous because I have to hold my breath, and thinking about details, it makes the problem worse. It's way too much to do. Okay, but then this person says they are just rereading the English is a little bit wrong way around. They're a perfectionist. Okay, so this is it's a fair issue. Okay, we're talking about this is visualizations. Okay, so they're nervous about holding their breath, and I'm giving them more things to do. Well, one of the interesting things that we do in no tanks, and again, I've said this at least 6-7 times, get a copy of Matthew Syed's Bounce book. It goes into fantastic details about how the brain works and the psychology of learning. And one of the things is about how much our brain can process. Our brain can process only a certain amount of stuff, but it can also process stuff subconsciously. So if you're overloading your brain, it's a good thing, okay? It forces you to allow some of the processes to become kind of automatic. It forces them to become automatic. And this is a process we use in no tanks all the time. Yeah. We overload the senses. This is why we can train in a swimming pool, a effectively in a swimming pool and then take those skills directly into deep water. How we can do pretty much all our training in a lake that's no deeper than 10 meters and effectively train down, for things down to 80, 90, 100 meters, okay? Because we're trying to develop our brain processes rather than just doing the same maneuver time and time again. So, and this is the problem with training exclusively on a rope. It's a very linear movement, and you're trying to do a very linear movement, exactly the same every time, and it's very difficult to get your brain to get those movements into the subconscious if you're just doing the same things. So you need to overload the brain. You get the brain to do other things. So for this person, I'm too nervous holding his breath to think about other things. That's good. That instantly gives you a target. So you can drop the breath hold time down, okay? So you're not actually nervous about the breath hold, even if it's 10 seconds. It doesn't matter like what the breath hold time is, okay? Logically you're not nervous about it, but you still might get nervous about, will I make the breath hold? Yeah, that's fine. But then you can start bringing in visualizations and start bringing in different thought processes, and eventually you won't be too nervous about holding your breath to do these other things, and instantly you've moved on. Okay, so just stay with it. Okay, so another question. What is? Oh, in fact, this is Andreas, and I think Andreas is online now. Hey, Andreas, so your question's going to get asked on here. What's your opinion on breathing part before a dive, and is hyperventilation as dangerous as some people claim? Okay, so two separate questions. Let's go with a hyperventilation question first. Okay. The simple answer is no, I don't believe hyperventilation is as dangerous as some people claim, because some people say it's instant death. Okay. And I'm not joking. I am genuinely not joking. I've had people who have dived with us for a while, gone on a holiday with another instructor, and they've taken the candle blows, and their instructors go, no, don't do that, that's hyperventilation, you're gonna die. And like, whoa. I mean, we know that candle blows aren't, when I say we, if you watch the previous videos about candle blows, you'll know that it is no way it can be construed as hyperventilation. It just doesn't fit the criteria. But you have to get that excited about it. Whoa, 3 breaths is going to kill me. No. So is hyperventilation as dangerous as some people claim? No. It is dangerous. And more important, it's not necessary. Hyperventilation is not a necessary thing to do before a dive. So any danger is not worth if it's not if we feel it's kind of unnecessary, then any danger, and it's an unnecessary thing, then don't do it. Any danger for an unnecessary thing, it's just not worth doing. Obviously, we're getting into water, we're going out to sea, we're going to swim around underwater. There's dangers involved, and we try and mitigate them. But we also admit that it's a dangerous sport, and there's potential for accidents. But we have taken the decision that seeing nice fish is an upside. The danger, we kind of, But hyperventilation, the upside is, well, I don't think there is an upside, and then there's danger. So you don't need to do that. Okay, so hyperventilation finished. What's my opinion of breathing before the dive? Well, that comes in 3 parts. All my answers are in parts. Why can't I just say yes or no? Oh, anyway. So in 3 parts. So the first part is the long time before a dive. Okay. Now, if I've got students who are going to competitions, okay, And it doesn't matter what kind of competition, doesn't matter if it's a world championship or a local comp with like 5 entries. It's good to have something specific to do for the time before a dive, you know? And it doesn't really matter what it is, reading a book, listening to music, stretching out, although stretching out is not very good for, static. Stretching is really bad for strength. That's a different video. But it's good to have something, whatever it is, to do to fill that gap. Okay, because somebody says, okay, you know, there's your top time. You're going to be diving in 2 hours. Oh, okay. What do I do for 2 hours? And if you've got a breathing program and a book to read, so long-term breathing, it's not going to be bad for your breath hold at the end. So you might as well do it. Okay, you're not going to go for a run or get your bike out and cycle up a mountain. These are going to be bad for your competition. Breathing, is going to be good for it. So you might as well do it. That's a long term. Doesn't really matter what it is. Just something to do to kind of have a designated thing to fill the time. Okay. The second part is the kind of medium term. So 3 minutes, 5 minutes to your competition or your breath. I'm saying competition because competition has a very specific time you're going to have to hold your breath. You hold your breath now, okay? Whereas if you go, on a beach, it could be half hour either way. Somebody's late or you're getting early or whatever. So yeah. So medium time before the breath hold. 5-10 minutes. The last 5-10 minutes before the breath hold. You want to be maximizing the oxygen, so you don't want to be kind of, okay? Any normal, comfortable breathing is going to maximize, get 99% of your blood oxygenated. You can't do any more than that. So, comfortable breathing. You also want to be lowering the heart rate, okay? Lowering the metabolic rate. And you could do this by the 5 in, 10 out pattern. We use visualizations to engage both left and right hand side of the brain, which also links in with our breathing pattern. Okay? And so that for those the overriding thing, to think about when those last 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 2 minutes before a dive is slowing the heart rate, slowing the metabolic rate, slowing the brain activity down to a nice calm level. And then there's the last breaths before the breath hold. Now we use candle blows, and there's 5 reasons why we use candle blows. I'm not going to list them now. Maybe next week I'll do just candle blows. I'll do a whole live stream just about how amazing candle blows are. But one of the reasons is you're fully oxygenating the lungs, not the blood, the lungs. Okay, so if you've been doing a long, slow breath, and then you go just take a breath in, we know that there's a quarter of our lungs hasn't been exhaled, because that's what the residual volume of our lungs are. We can't get rid of that last quarter. So we want to kind of flush that out of our lungs, so we can take 3 deep candle blows, just kind of mix the air up and get out that last quarter or at least most of that last quarter. Yeah. And obviously, we take our breath and then we dive. So that's my opinion on breathing part before the dive. Some 3 sections: long term, medium term, and literally directly before the dive. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's go back, see if there's we've got a good evening to all. 3 guys from Greece. I think it's time to visit us. What? I can't control. But then ask the question. Somebody else asked the question. I can't control the urge to dive and train in the red zone. Sabotaging my progress. I don't know if this is a question. I'm just reading it out. There's a question mark at the end, so I'm thinking it's a question, so I'm going to answer it. I still enjoy it, but I'd really like to be able to control it and do it. Have you any suggestions getting it right? All right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not funny at all. Okay, so we're in England. We're coming out of lockdown, so you might be watching this video in 6 months' time or a year's time, and you won't make any sense. We're just coming out of lockdown, and The government has just announced places we can go. We have green zones, amber zones, and red zones. So I'm reading this question saying, I can't control the urge to dive and train in the red zone. I'm like, well, you know, there are some countries that are beautiful that are in the red zone, but I would suggest you don't go there because of COVID. But he didn't mean that at all. So I apologise. It's not about going to places that are in the red zone. It's not going on holiday to the red zone. He's talking about training in the hard section. Okay. Which is totally understandable. We're humans. So we have urges of progression, and it's so easy to give ourselves numbers. So easy to kind of, you know, feel that you're making progress if the numbers are bigger. It's wrong. Logically we know it's wrong. Okay, you know, you see somebody do a trick on a skateboard and, you know, jump over something, and you know that somebody jumps over it beautifully. You know they're a much better skateboarder than somebody who just jumps over it, but it's the same height. Okay, but you know they're better at sport. The same with freediving. The numbers really don't mean much. So we can move away from that. But equally well, we've been trained in society from a very early age. You train hard, and you know, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. Right? All these kind of macho things, and they are macho, I'm afraid, that we've inherited from, you know, decades gone by. As a society, we know that that's not how training is best performed. Okay, we know that training in the red zone is not the way we can progress. It's just not. So, very, very simple example. Jiu-jitsu. I train jiu-jitsu. Some of you may know this. But and I've made some videos about you know, intense training periods, and people are always asking, "Wow, man, how do you train, you know, 3 times a day for a month? Like, don't you get completely knackered?" Well, no, I don't, because I don't train full on hard 3 times a day. Right? Why don't I train full on hard 3 times a day? Because I know that A, I'm going to get injured, more likely to get injured, but B, I know I've got to keep it up for a month. And knackering myself on the first session on a Monday morning means that I'm not going to be able to train very well, you know, throughout the rest of the week. So it's just logical that you don't want to train in the red zone. Maybe touch into it a few times in very controlled circumstances. Much better would be to actively move your red zone along a bit. So train up to the edge of the red zone and go, hey, that was a little bit tough. I acknowledge that was a little bit tough. Not, oh man, that was hard, but that was a little bit tough. And then in a week's time, that red zone's moved there, and you do the same dive you did that you thought, oh, that was a little bit tough, and you find it super easy. And that is what's going to give you much more positive feedback. Man, a week ago or a month ago or a year ago, that dive was quite hard, and now I can do it twice. I can do it and show somebody, like, you know, kind of, I can do it now and have a camera in my hand. That's how easy it is. And that is what's going to be your positive. Okay, training in the red zone is just going to be hard, and your body doesn't like it. Yeah, the reason it's called the red zone, reason pain and all this, it's your body saying, whoa, slow down. So if you, next day you go, right, I'm going to do it again, your subconscious is going to be going, please don't do it again. If you keep it in the fun zone, you just oh, next day I want to do it again. Your body's like, yeah, I want to do it again. Equally well, your friends want to do it because you come up smiling, not coming up, man, that was a really hard dive. You come up and just high-five your body's going to be like, yeah. Right? And as soon as you move back from that edge, literally your training will open up. You know, you train hard for a short period of time. That's brilliant. Great. It's a short period of time. What happens if you train soft? You could train for 4 times as long. You get to see 4 times as many fish. You get to practice your finning 4 times about as much. So who's going to get better over the week? The person who trains real hard for a couple of dives and then has to get out? Or the guy who trains for 4 hours but specifically trains his finning, trains his duck dive, trains his sink, trains his alignment, okay, for 4 hours a day? So there you go. So that answers that question. So wow, we've run out of time. I've got a whole list of these questions coming up here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Maybe I should be doing more Q&A questions, because I say there's a whole list of questions that people have asked me over the last couple of weeks, and I haven't got to many of them. So hopefully, if your question got answered, you'll be happy with that. As always, if you do have a question, put it in the messages, email it to me, and I'll try and get it. Maybe I'll do a Q&A session more regularly. But thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you next week. Next week, and I'm going to write this down. Let me write this down. I'm going to do candle blows next week. Candle blows, very interesting. Candle blows. I know we've done it before, but let's do it again next week. Cheers for that. See you next week.